Morning, guys. Welcome to Coffee Chat. Oh, I just love this big boy cup, actually. Brings back memories when I was a kid. They had a big boy in my hometown. And, then they kind of like closed a lot of big boys, but this was a staple back in the day. Guys, this is where they got the Big Mac from. They snarfed it off a Big Boy. Big Boy came up with this kind of sandwich way before McD's did. I'll tell you that right there. Now, guys, there are some big time happenings in this economy right now. I was reading an article on Zero Hedge, and it was talking about how the interest rate for mortgages has dropped to its lowest point since April. And I'm going to tell you, reading this article gave me it's a precursor, guys. It's a precursor. They are going to start dropping rates. I really do believe it. And when they do start dropping those interest rates, what's going to happen? You watch and see that DXY is going to absolutely tumble. Now, when the DXY does tumble like that, do you know what happens to this space? Bang, bang. It starts to fire off. And how? You just look at the reverse correlation of the dollar index and how when it goes down and the dollar rolls over like that and it takes a big time tumble, this space goes nuts, of course, along with equities. And guys, they want to do this. I mean, they are itching to do it. The whole point of the Federal Reserve, guys, is, the printing, the minting of money out of thin air. It's to inflate. That is the whole name of the game. And so they are looking for every excuse to do it. And I really do believe we are going to see not just one, but perhaps multiple ones in the month of September and, of course, going in through to December. Now, having said that, when you look at what's going on in this space correlated time-wise, it is truly mind-blowing. So Hester Pierce got out there and she just threw this tweet out about how, it's such a good thing that, finally we're done this Ripple case and all this and this, and it should have been done long ago and on and on. Well, Paul Atkins responds to it, and his response, talk about bullish. The guy comes out, he literally says, hey, look, Hester Pierce is right. Now that we got this whole thing done with the Ripple case, we can move on to not dealing with stuff in the courtroom, guys, but dealing with it in policy. Now, how about that? And think about this. Just recently, what did they go and do? Well, they went and they actually took that bad actor designation away from Ripple. You know what that allows them to do? To go out and market, their stock, their, pre-IPO shares and raise money, through the broader market. And on top of that, when folks come out and say, oh, well, hey, that injunction still stays, and Ripple, they can't actually go and sell XRP to institutions. That is not true. The injunction wasn't what they were selling, but how they were selling it. And guys, there is big time opportunity for Ripple to go out there and to actually be, funding the on-demand liquidity market in ways that they didn't do before. In fact, they've already been out there doing that. They just changed the contractual agreements and how they're written so that they do not form any part or any kind of, relationship to a security, where one of the prongs of the Howey test was, hey, depending, where people are buying that, relying on the efforts of others. They've taken that off the table. So when you hear all this FUD of, and it's just that, it's just fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Oh, well, they can't sell, so it's not going to pump because, well, the injunction says thus and such. They don't even know what they're saying. They're just saying it to scare you and I out of, really believing we're going to see any kind of a significant move. Guys, I don't believe that, not for 2 seconds. We are right now consolidating and showing tremendous strength in the market for XRP. And in fact, the broader market right now is just, it's literally there. It's kind of like, when you're at a horse race and the horses are behind that gate, they're just waiting for that thing to open. And all of a sudden, when the bell rings, bang, the gates open, those horses are just boof right down the track. That's what's going on. You can feel it. I mean, the atmosphere, they're just pawing, they're just taking their hooves and they're kicking at the dirt. It's going to happen. And when it happens, is it ever going to be fast? It is going to be so fast, people are going to be mind boggled. You're literally going to watch assets, and I believe not just XRP, but you'll see Hedera Hashgraph. You'll probably see Cardano shooting off, XLM shooting off, VeChain shooting off. You're probably going to see a bunch of these ones literally going on an absolute tear. And it is going to be so quick that a lot of people are going to think, what is going on? Like, why couldn't this happen just a couple months back, and on and on? It makes zero sense when it happens, or at least it seems to make zero sense. But when they let these horses fly, or in another way, when they let the dogs out, man alive, is it going to be crazy. XRP, come on, guys. I definitely believe that we could potentially see, double digits for sure in this run. And maybe, guys, maybe just triple digits. Wouldn't that be absolutely astounding? If you saw a triple digit XRP in this run, is that going to change the wide world for a lot of folks that have been accumulating in this space? It is going to be truly wild. Think about it. Wow. And the environment's right there. I mean, it is right there. You're watching, heck, the ECB themselves. I mean, come on, guys. How many rate cuts have they had? How many rate cuts has the European Central Bank had? 15, and each one 25 basis points, and still going. And here we are, the SEC, or sorry, not the SEC, but the Federal Reserve hasn't done any. Well, guys, they are going to do it, and they are going to catch up. And when the catch up happens, look, it's going to rip. It's going to rip. Because when they drop those rates and you watch the DXY fall, like I said, research that. Find out how that has impacted this space and, of course, the equity market whenever that has happened. When the DXY takes that tumble, this space and, of course, equities just go nuts. See, money doesn't just stay stagnant. It moves. It moves where it believes it's going to be the most fertile, guys. That's where it moves. And this space is just heating up to be one of the most absolute fertile soils for dollars. Big institutional money has been coming in like crazy. They've been buying it on the cheap while they've been scaring folks out. We've watched the dips that have happened. I mean, come on. When XRP had dropped down to that 272, how many out there were feeling like, oh no, the sky is falling? Lots and lots. We saw that in the comments. And then what happened? Bang, shot right back up, way over $3. First go around. When we actually, between when the presidential election and we got up there, it was $3 and some cents. And we had come back down and we're consolidating in that $2 range. And then they had that flash crash to $1.65. Well, I remember a lot of people thought, oh, it's over. It's done. XRP is going back under $1. Nope. Boom. Back up there, right up over that $3 range. I'm telling you guys, we are in a consolidation phase. And when it absolutely, it comes back down, hits the trampoline, bounces back up, comes back down, hits the trampoline, bounces. Eventually, it's going to hit that trampoline with such force that, man, it's going to smash right through those trend lines, and it's going to blow people's minds. And then it's going to consolidate there. And boom, back up. Now, we could see a big move for Bitcoin going over 123,000 and settling out there a new all-time high. And then you may see a correction in the altcoins, right? And then from that correction, it will literally, I think that's the last one. We posted an article not long ago where, we were following TA guy, and he was saying, hey, look, we're just one bull flag away from a massive, massive move. Guys, you want to be a part of it. You want to be out there thinking about it, looking about it, researching it, getting yourself ready for it. That's what you want. I can't wait to see you there, guys. I really can. Both of us will be standing right there in that winner circle, and I want you right beside me when it happens, getting our blue ribbon and all these fuzzers, which, by the way, a lot of them are absolutely being completely disingenuous. You think that they don't have any XRP on the side? Come on. They do. A lot of them do. They're just wanting to get out there. Some of them are even paid, and of course others are just bots. But they're out there trying to scare the dickens out of you. Guys, come on. How are you going to let any of that scare you when they've been wrong on every count? Every count. Absolutely wrong. I mean, Judy and I like to say, buy an XRP before the whole lawsuit was laid down. Every single thing they said was wrong, wrong, wrong. It didn't get declared a security. The SEC didn't get their interlocutory appeal. You know, Brad and Chris didn't get sued to the high heavens. The thing didn't get to the Supreme Court. None of that happened, and now it's all done. And so now what do they got? Well, they're going back to old narratives, aren't they? I mean, you know, they're having arguments about, well, you know, the reason XRP won't go is because you got such big bag holders. What a load of hogwash. Do you know how many people are holding, how few there are that hold the monstrous portion of Bitcoin? I mean, you got, you know, MicroStrategy there holding a big, big chunk. And, of course, the miners and Satoshi's wallet and on and on. It is such an absolutely lame argument, but they want to throw that down. They'll never talk about utility or, you know, anything like that. They won't talk because Bitcoin doesn't have any, that's for sure. And the white paper never talked about Bitcoin being a store of value. That's just total nonsense. But that's what you get when you get all the fear, uncertainty, and doubt. You get a fuzzy picture, guys. You get, you know, it's all just smeared all one into one another, and you don't get the clarity. But we're gonna get it, I really do believe. And guys, when that happens, are we gonna be happy? So I'll tell you what, until later on today when we have another amazing video for you, have a great one and take care.